Moving on, we are starting with patterns. In case you guys didn't know, we have moved on from our topic of exponents, and we are now on a new topic called number patterns. You're using a laptop with a mouse, so you're scribbling. That makes sense. Okay. Um, yeah, so we're on a new topic. We are starting with number patterns. I'm sure everybody is kind of familiar with number patterns. We've been doing number patterns for a long time now. It's not something new. Um, so that is that. Um, sorry, I just wanna zoom in super quickly. Let me zoom in because I'm very distracted. Okay, okay, sorry guys. I promise I'm gonna be better now that my life is organized. Now it's organized. I have my pen. Okay, we're moving on to number patterns. So this is our new topic. We have done number patterns for quite some time in school. And so we ask ourselves, we know we've done number patterns, but what is a number pattern actually? Bree, we started the topic today. Love that we're right on track with your school. What is a number pattern? Does anyone wanna maybe try and tell me what they think is a pattern, specifically a number pattern? I saw a raised hand. Um, There we go. Zach. Yes, Zach.
Ma'am, I'm not really sure, but can I give it a guess?
Yes, that's exactly what I asked for.
I think it's when like numbers copy a certain pattern and they continue to a certain amount. Doesn't really matter, I think, but yeah.
Uh-huh. Yep. You've basically hit the nail on the head. Groups of numbers that follow rules. I love that word rules. So thank you, Zach, and thank you, Marangi, for answering us there. So what is it actually? A number pattern, it is repeating a rule. So we have to repeat a rule. So it is repeating a rule to get from one term to another. And so when I talk about a term, what does that mean? All that a term is, it is our numbers in a pattern. So a term refers to numbers in a pattern. Okay, this definition is not too important, but um, it is important to understand. You don't have to memorize a definition for number patterns, but what is important is it's important that you understand what it is we're doing when we do number patterns. All we're doing is we're taking a rule and we repeat that rule over and over and over again to get from one term to in a pattern to the next. And you'll see here these little pictures. And these are actually patterns. How does it work? So this little block here would have been 3. And what I want you to see is this block here was 3 by 3 blocks. My next block is 5 by 5. Then I got 8 by 8. How did I get that? I took 3 and 5 and it gave me 8. And then my next block was 8 by 8. How did I get my next block? How did I know my next block needed to be 13 by 13? I looked at my two previous terms, 5 and 8, add them up, that gives us 13. We have a block here, 13 by 13. And then how did I know my next block needed to be 21? Look at my next or my last previous terms, 13 and 8. And so we said 13 plus 8 is 21. That's how this block here is 21 by 21. And this is a pattern that we see naturally occurring in nature. So it's not a number pattern as such. We don't have actual numbers for it. But you see in nature, this is something that happens. It's this rule that repeats and it forms a pattern, and it's the spiral that you'll see. And so now that we've done that little bit of theory, let us look at examples. And so they say for each of the following patterns, State the next three terms and describe the pattern in words. So, does somebody want to tell me what my next three terms are going to be? We have Immediately who wants to answer.
Afternoon, ma'am.
Afternoon.
Ma'am, the next three terms will be 19, 20.
Give me a second. Do you want to try say that again for me, please?
19, ma'am.
19, okay.
And the next one will be 23.
23.
And then the last one will be 27, ma'am.
How did you know that?
Well, ma'am, so when I looked at the beginning of the pattern, to get from 3 to 7, you add 4. And then to get from 7 to 11, you add 4. And then carry on as
100%. Thank you, Immediately, for that. So, and as I see Cabo has given us in the chat, we have a rule. And so remember what we said a pattern is. We repeat a rule to get from one term to another. And so what Immediately did over here is she identified what my rule was, and then she just repeated it to get to the next three terms. So that was beautifully done. Thank you. So we've stated our next three terms, and let's describe our pattern in words. So I'm going to say our pattern is adding 4 to get to the next term. So when we describe our pattern in words, actually what you'll see happening is we actually are also describing what the rule is. And so here I saw that my rule was +4. And so when I'm describing the pattern is made by the rule. So indirectly, I'm also describing what my rule is. And my rule is I add 4 to get to the next term. And that is that. Is everybody comfortable with what we have on the board so far? Any questions? I see a thumbs up. Thank you for that. And I'm not seeing any questions. So let us move on. I don't want us to get too far ahead. So let's look at this one. Does somebody want to tell me what is happening in this pattern? Anybody who knows what the rule is? Anybody who wants to guess? Yes, Zach.
Must I give the rule or must I give what's next?
You can give what's next and then give the rule, whichever way.
Okay, what I think will be next is 5.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And then also 7.
Uh-huh.
And then the rule here I think would be +2.
It is +2. And so that means my third term will be 9. And so it is +2. Zach, I have a question for you. Isn't it minus because I'm going from like 3 to 1 and I know 3 minus 2 is 1? Anybody? Does anybody want to answer that question?
I don't think so.
Why don't you think so?
Because when you're adding, I don't know how to explain it.
That's okay. You don't have to. I'm gonna explain it now. Nkuli may have an answer for us.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Ma'am, I'd like to answer.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the reason why we are going plusing by 2 is because negative is when you minus, you go more back, and when you're plusing, you go more forward. So as you go backwards for plusing and forward for for minusing.
Yes, I understood what you meant. And so it's exactly what I'm going to show on this number line. Thank you for answering for us. For anybody who didn't understand what we just said, what actually happens is, think about when you are on a number line. When I'm adding on a number line, so when I'm doing addition, do I move to the left or do I move to the right? Can somebody tell me? Immediately,
You move to the right, ma'am.
I move to the right. And while you're here, when I minus, which way do I move?
You move to the left, ma'am.
I move to the left. And so, thank you, immediately, for that. And so now that we have that, let's look at what happens. I'm starting at -3 and I'm moving to -1. So to go to -1, I move to the right. And what does that mean? Because I'm moving to the right, it means I'm adding 2. So even though if you might think, but 1 is smaller than 3, because we're dealing with negative numbers, -1 is actually the bigger number than -3. Because think about it. If you owe me 1 rand, that's better than owing me 3 rand. So 3 rand is the smaller number. Being in a very big minus, it's actually a very, 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 very small number. And the more to the right we go on our number line, the bigger our numbers get. So -1 is a bigger number than -3. And so our rule here was +ing 2, which everybody already told me. But just for anybody who was lost and didn't want to ask a question, that is what we're doing. We're constantly adding 2 to get to the next term. And Nialeti has very nicely explained what our pattern is. They asked us to describe our pattern in words, and that is adding 2 to get to the next term, to get to the next term. Okay, I hope everybody is happy with that. Moving on, and again, all of my numbering has erased itself, but that's okay. Imisha, I'm just going to lower your hand. If you have a question, you can raise it again. We have another pattern. Let's see. What am I doing to get from 2 to 4? I'm adding 2. Yes, Imisha.
Ma'am, I wanted to answer, ma'am.
Uh-huh.
So you add, you multiply by 2, ma'am.
Multiply by 2. And so that's exactly what I want you to show. To get from 2 to 4, I could also be adding 2, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But does it work to get from 4 to 8?
No, ma'am, because to get from 4 to 8, we have to multiply, ma'am.
Exactly. And so I can't make my rule. I can't make my rule here, add 2, and then all of a sudden I'm adding 4. Remember what a pattern is. It's a repeating rule. We have to repeat the rule. So I can see this rule isn't gonna give me the same thing if I use addition. So it's 100% exactly what you said. I am going to multiply by 2 each time to get to the next term. And can you tell me what my next 2 terms are going to be? Or 3 terms?
18, 20, and 22, ma'am.
Remember, we're not adding 2.
Oh, wait, it's going to be 32, 64, and
yes, Shady, 100%. 128.
Yes.
Good job. Okay, thank you for that. Immediately, do you also want to describe the pattern in words, or is that it?
The pattern is multiplying by 2 to get to the next term.
100%. Thank you for that. So we are multiplying by 2 to get to the next term. Thank you, immediately. And I see you guys are popping the answers in the chat. Thank you for that as well, for participating. let us look at our next one. Oh, that wasn't enough. There we go. What are we doing here? Anybody before I do it? Including, thank you. I love it when everybody participates. Thank you guys. Yes, including. Okay, while we are waiting, how are we getting from -1 to -3? Cabo, 100%, we are subtracting 2. Now, I saw somebody saying adding 2. Why is it adding 2? I mean, why is it not adding 2? It's not adding 2 because think about our number line. Remember when I drew the number line? For this specific one, we started at -1 and we went to -3. And so that means I was moving to the left on my number line. And if I was moving to the left on my number line, it means I'm doing subtraction. And so, Nkuli, I see you say you can't turn on your mic. I'm not sure why that is. You can just type your answers in the chat. So that's cool. No, wrong one. I stopped that. So we are minusing 2 each time. -2, -2. Can somebody tell me -7 minus 2 is what? Immediately your hand popped up so fast.
-7 minus 2 is -9, ma'am.
100%. And I see lots of answers flooding in the chat. Immediately while you're here, -9 minus 2?
It's -11, ma'am.
-11. And -11 minus 2
is -13.
-30. And everybody seems to have been getting the answer correct in the chat as well. Thank you for that. Anybody want to tell me? Nyeleti has already written it so nicely for us. How would I describe this pattern in words? To describe what this pattern is, the pattern is subtracting 2 to get to the next term. I want to show you guys something also. What if I told you I could have also added -2? Can somebody tell me? Umar is saying yes. Can somebody tell me, Umar, since you've said yes, can you tell me -1 plus -2 will give me what? -3. And so you'll see if we use that rule, it also works. -1 plus -2, for anybody who doesn't know, over here, because I have a sign outside my brackets, I need to multiply in. And so a positive and a negative is going to give me a negative. So it ends up being -1 minus 2. And that is -3. So our pattern is subtracting 2 to get to the next term, but it can also be adding -2 to get to the next term. And immediately I see you've put in the chat that a positive plus a negative equals a negative. That's not always the case. What we are looking at is a positive times a negative will give us a negative. So be careful there with your operation that you're using. It's a positive times a negative that is going to give us. Please tell me I recorded. Yes, I recorded. Sorry, I almost had like a mini heart attack. Okay, so we are going to add 2 to get to the next term, or add -2, should I say, to get to the next term. It's used when multiplying and dividing. Yes, 100%. A positive divided by a negative is also a negative. So that's that, Bri. I see your hand is up. I can't remember if you already answered me or if you have a new question.
Hi, ma'am. I actually have a question.
Yes, Bri.
About the -1 plus the -2 example you gave us, I kind of don't understand how it ended up being -1 minus 2.
Okay. So what we actually did is we said that, we said we have -1 plus -2. Okay, now what I want you to see is there's this invisible 1 in front of my brackets. Because think about, when you have something like 2 and then 2 over there, that means 2 times 2, right?
Yes.
So that's going to give me 4. So every bracket has this invisible 1 in front of it. And that invisible 1 goes with my sign. Okay. So because it goes with my sign, what actually is happening is I'm saying this is actually -1. And then I also have this +1 times -2. Are you seeing that?
Yes.
And because there is now this multiplication over here, I can use my rules for my signs. I have a positive times a negative, which is going to give me a -2. And then I have my -1 over there. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay. Pleasure. And then I see I had another hand. Immediately, yes. Do you have a question?
Ma'am, so today at school, I started with exploring them.
Okay.
So there's a question that says -6 to the power of 5. So ma'am, let's say you have like a -6 times -6, for example. Like, do you keep the negative one, or do you just like?
You're asking if you have -6 times -6, do I keep the negative?
Yes, ma'am. There's like, will the answer be -36 or just negative or just 36 one?
Okay, so if you firstly have an exponent of 5, your answer is not going to be 36. But if you're talking about just 6 times 6, negative times negative, yes. So remember, you can also apply SNV over here. Deal with our signs first. My signs is a negative times a negative. And what is that going to give me?
A positive, ma'am.
A positive. My numbers is 6 times 6, which is going to be 36. Do I have any variables?
No, ma'am.
No. So this is my answer. Positive 36. Happy?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Pleasure. Okay, cool. So that's that on our subtracting 2 is the same thing as adding -2. Moving on. Don't get scared, guys. It's okay. Okay. We now have 1, 4, 9, 16. This one is a little bit more difficult. Can somebody maybe tell me? Let's try and look at a rule. From here, let's try addition. I'm seeing I'm adding 3, and let's ask immediately what's next.
Ma'am. So what I was thinking, ma'am. Oh, wait. So the 4, 9, and 16 are all square numbers, ma'am. So then next the next 3 numbers are going to be
5 squared, 5 times 5.
25.
25. Good job. 6 squared. So 6 times 6.
36, and then 7 squared, which is 49.
49. 7 times 7, 49. 100%. So you even didn't need to do that. You want to describe the pattern for me?
I'll try, ma'am. So I think it's multiplying the number by itself, like squaring the number.
Okay. Emilia, thank you for that. Before I take your answer, I actually want to show you guys something. When we have patterns, right, we also have term numbers. So these, the numbers, is what we call our terms. But then we also have what we call term numbers. This is just to make it easy for ourselves. So this is what we'll call term number 1. This is term number 2. This is term number 3. And so if I had to ask you, what is the value of term number 5? What would you guys tell me? What's the value of term number 5? For 5, Brie, you're saying 36. Let's look at it. This would be term number 4, and this would be term number 5. And Tando, I see you've given us the answer. Yes. So you kind of count the numbers. It's as easy as that. All you do is you count the numbers, and then my number has a value. So term number 5 has a value of 25. So now that we know that, when we're describing this pattern, we can say we have to square my term number to get the term. So for term 1, and I saw you guys nobody really said that 1 was a square number, but 1 is a square number. Why? 1 is 1 times 1. Okay, so to get the term, what we're doing is we are squaring its term number. Immediately, I'm now going to ask you, do you understand what I have just written and explained?
Yes, ma'am. You have to square times them by itself to go to the next term.
Yes.
And also, each number has a term, like a term number.
Yes. Yes. Okay, cool. Thank you for that. What I want you guys to see is there's also another pattern. I could have said +3, +5, +7, +9. What is my pattern there? My pattern is adding consecutive, not 2. We're not adding 2. We are adding consecutive odd numbers. What does that mean? Does someone want to tell me, what does consecutive mean? I see Umar has raised his hand. Yes, Umar.
Consecutive means like it's going over and over again.
Okay, so one after the other, you mean
Yes.
over and okay. There we go. And just tell me, Umar, am I saying your name correctly as Umar or is it Umar?
Umar.
Umar. Okay. Okay, cool. Thank you. So Umar has now given us that answer, 100% correct. Consecutive just means it follows after each other. So when I say consecutive numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4 would be consecutive numbers. They follow after each other. But because I've said odd numbers, my consecutive odd numbers are my odd numbers that follow after each other. And so that is 3, 5, 7, 9. Consecutive even numbers would be 2, 4, 6, 8. So I hope that makes sense to everybody. And before we do this, I'm going to get back to that. Let's go through our brain break super quickly. So if anybody is here for the first time, oh, I just opened something random, sorry. If anybody is here for the first time, what we do for our brain breaks is we do one must go. Brie, I see you're asking, how are the numbers consecutive when they're odd? So because I specifically stated, sorry guys, I'm causing our brain break. Because I specifically stated consecutive odd numbers, I'm only looking at my odd numbers. And so I'm looking at odd numbers that follow after each other. And if I had to look at my normal numbers, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, because I've asked for odd numbers, I'm only looking at 3, 5, 7, 9. And when I talk about consecutive numbers, they must follow after each other. So if this pattern was adding 3 and then 7, 3 and 7 is not consecutive odd numbers. So there's no pattern there. But because we're adding consecutive odd numbers, what do I mean when I say consecutive? I mean, just looking at my odd numbers must follow one after each other in a normal counting pattern. So I hope that answers your question. And I see everybody was doing their brain break already. I see a lot of people saying machachos, which is so concerning to me. It is so concerning. I love machachos, guys. Zach, yes.
Ma'am, can I give a reason why I would say muchachos?
100% you can.
Okay, so obviously everyone's gonna keep steers because that's just so big. Why is people saying steers? But steers is the basic one. You can't really take that away.
Okay.
Lebanese is like pretty popular, so can't really take that one away either.
Okay.
And some people not like fisherways, so I guess so. I mean, I prefer ocean basket, so maybe fisherways would I take away.
Uh-huh.
But also, I've never tried muchachos, and I probably never will. So unfortunately, I have to get rid of it. Sorry, ma'am. I choose Nando's.
Oh my word. Zach, let me tell you, if you like Nando's, you'll love machachos. Not that it's better than Nando's, but it's just really good. Machachos have the best chips I have ever tasted in my life.
Let me look it up.
Really, ma'am? Really, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am, because ma'am, usually, ma'am, McDonald's actually has the best chips. But Muchachos, I don't know about that one.
No, you see, the thing is, McDonald's, it's very inconsistent. Sometimes you'll go and it'll be really good, but sometimes you go and they're like soggy or they're like undersalted. Machachos
Yeah.
without fail every time you go. Best chips.
Okay, actually, these pictures look kind of nice. I want to try it now. But
You should try it, Zach. I didn't see who was talking as well, but I think it sounds like Liajo. So yeah, Liajo. McDonald's is unreliable. Machachos 100%. And I saw someone said, why are they the only one who said debonaise? I'm agreeing with you. It's debonaise for me. McDonald's fries taste like plastic. When it's cold. Yeah, when it's cold, it does. It tastes like
I'm
cardboard.
getting rid of fisherways. Fisherways my final answer.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, for me it would be between Fisherways and debonaise. Okay, guys, birthday cake, birthday presents, birthday parties, or birthday privileges. For anybody who's going to ask me what is a birthday privilege, I don't know if you guys have siblings. Birthday privileges are very important. I always make my older brother sit in the back seat when it's my birthday. You know, birthday privileges is like saying, you know, like, oh, mom, like, make me something. It's my birthday. Get this for me. It's my birthday. That is birthday privileges. If you know, you'd get rid of birthday privileges. I saw someone say cake. I'd also get rid of a cake. Because, like, I can have other desserts, right? I don't have to have a cake. Umar doesn't want a birthday party. I don't have birthday parties every year, but, like, you know, for like your milestone birthdays, that's pretty nice. Cake is too much sugar, Layla. I love cake though, I'm not gonna lie. I love cake. This cake is, looking at it, it's actually making me hungry. Birthday party. Ma'am, you would be celebrating maybe 1 year closer to death. That's true, but like, yeah, yeah. That's true. But I mean, that's just life, you know? That's just life. Okay. Moving on to clothing. Jeans, cargo, sweatpants, shorts. Personally, I don't know. Personally, I don't know. Jeans. Everybody's saying jeans. Shorts gotta go. Yes, Liaho.
Ma'am, jeans are too tight, ma'am. But like, ma'am, I don't like jeans, ma'am. I actually never wear jeans. I usually wear shorts and long pants.
But you don't have to wear tight jeans. You don't have to wear skinny jeans. Have you not seen jeans today? People are wearing like little parachute jeans.
That's true, ma'am. Yeah, that's true. But still, ma'am, I don't really like jeans.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with you. It's like too heavy for me, you know?
Yes, ma'am, true.
Yeah. Guys, don't get rid of jeans. Baggy jeans is so nice. See, Jenna, yeah, a lot of people are like, like the super baggy jeans is like in. And I get it. Like, I also have jeans. I do wear jeans, but I wouldn't be able to get rid of shorts, right? Because when it's hot, come on, like, we have to wear shorts, guys. And then between the three, sweatpants is my go-to. Like, it's so comfortable. It's so comfortable. Cargos is a second. Jeans, no. Yes, Zach.
Oh, sorry, ma'am. I accidentally put up my hand.
Oh, no problem. Okay,
Sorry.
since Zach has nothing to say, let us move on. Okay, Mkuli, yes. I don't know if you have something to say on the new one or the old one. Either way is okay.
Ma'am,
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's finally time that I can say we need to get rid of the shorts. It's time. It's shy. It's just not okay. We only
Why?
wear shorts at home, and it's not even a fashion statement. Like, what's going on there? No, it's
Okay,
shy.
true.
It's time to go.
True. I see your point. I see your point. And I might agree with you, but like at the beach also. Imagine you're going to the beach and now you're
Ma'am,
in your cargos or something.
no, ma'am, nah, ma'am. This is not the shorts. No, the shorts can't be here. It's just that who wears shorts in public, ma'am? Please tell me.
A lot
And
of
if they do, they're going
people.
to they're going to the mall, ma'am. And if they're not going to the mall, if they're going to some kind of fancy event, that means that they have no style. It's just it.
I mean, to each their own, I guess. Yeah, but I see your point. I see what you're saying. I also don't really wear shorts out anymore. But yeah, that's that. I see everybody is answering geography. Layla, what do you have to say?
Ma'am, in my opinion, my
Mm-hmm.
history has to go because the past just needs to be in the past. It's not necessary, ma'am.
But we are keeping the past in the past, but the only way we do that is by learning about it so we don't repeat it, you know?
But it's the most unrelevant relevant
Mm-hmm.
subject compared to
I
the
hear you.
others. Geography, you use it to navigate. Natural science, you learn about nature. And EMS, if you want to start a business, that's kind of helpful. But history, uh,
Okay,
I see
I
nothing
see your
special.
point. I see your point, but I would get rid of history just because I hate history, okay? I don't like learning a lot of facts. It's hard for me to remember it. Let's see if Umar agrees with you.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi. What is
Ma'am,
your
I agree with Leila.
okay?
See,
History. What's your reason though?
ma'am, as you said, let the past be the past. Also, um, like the people who watched it, they can just give it to the younger people, and it doesn't. You don't have to learn about it from all back then. You just know the story. and we don't have to go to school, learn history and everything like that. We just it's like trying to be general knowledge.
Okay, yeah, I get it. I get it. But also, yeah, no, I have nothing else to say. Yeah. If it was taught to us by like our parents, that would be enough. Personally.
Mm.
Personally. Taking history in grade 10. That's cool. Yeah. So for those of us who like history, that's cool too. Guys, I still see lots of hands up. I'm gonna
If
cut our break now. Yes, Uma,
ma'am,
wait. Mm-hmm.
if technology was there, I'd take out technology. I have a
Really? Okay,
reason for
yeah,
that.
same. What's your reason?
See, our modern generation has gone weaker because we gone lazy now. We hardly work, so
Okay,
we have
but
no muscles nowadays.
technology isn't only like technology, like what we know technology to be. Technology also teaches you about like buildings and like bridges and that kind of stuff, hydraulics. So, yeah, I mean, it's not only about like electronics technology.
But
Um,
ma'am, for
mhm.
building a house, in the olden days when they never have technology, they should take bricks, like they should make sand bricks, and they should build a house.
Yeah, yeah, I see your point. I see your point. Guys, honestly, I'd get rid of history too. I'd get rid of history too. Technology was okay. It wasn't that bad. Anyways, that is it for our brain break, guys. Thank you for participating and sharing your thoughts and ideas. Let us look at, oh no, that. Let us look at this. Nkuli, I see your hand is raised. I'm thinking, yep, it was for the brain break. Oh no, okay, it's up again. Yes.
Then it was for the brain break.
Okay, it was and also I see you managed to turn your mic on, so that's great. Um, okay, no stress.
Yes,
Thank you.
please
I will
click
answer
the
this
button.
question. Oh, you had to click the button.
Yeah,
Okay,
I forgot
cool.
to click it
No
because it
stress.
kicked me out and then kicked me back in, and then I forgot to click the button, and then I clicked it, and then Amicia was answering, so I was like, okay, let me just leave her.
Okay, no stress, no stress. Thank you for that. Um, look at this pattern. A little bit tricky, maybe, but not so bad. Um, I think I just muted you, but I think you also were just about to talk. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Yes, what did you want to say?
Oh, nothing, ma'am. I was just saying it is a little hard.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. So it is hard. We have confirmation that it is a little bit difficult. LCM, not so much. Guys, sometimes patterns are out to get us in that we want to overcomplicate it. 100% nility, 6/7. We want to overcomplicate it in that we want to make it, we want to find a rule that's like super complicated, but actually all that we are doing here is we're adding 1 to our numerator and we are adding 1 to our denominator. So add 1, add 1, add 1, and add 1. So this pattern kind of deals with our numerator and denominator separately. So it's not, I'm not adding like a half the whole time. I'm just adding 1 to my numerator, adding 1 to my denominator. And so, I see Refuelware has given me the next term, which would be 7/8. Thank you for that, Refuelware. Bree, you could also look at it as what you do to the top, you do to the bottom. And so my next term over here will be 8/9. Somebody tell me, what is the value of my fourth term? Anybody? Value of the fourth term? 6/7. Great job. How did we know that? 3/4 is term 1. 4 over 5 is term 2, 5 over 6 is term 3, and so 6 over 7 is going to be term 4. Yes, when I was saying term 4, I didn't mean the next term. I meant term 4. So that is that. Let's describe this pattern in words. I'm going to say we are adding. Sorry, my D's were a little bit weird. Let me redo that. We are adding 1 to the numerator and my denominator to get to the next term. Everybody, I think you realized your question. So that is that on this one. A last one before we close off for today is going to be this one over here. -1, 3. -9, 27. What is going on here? Anybody know? Immediately, your hand was up first.
Ma'am, I
Mhm.
think that it is times 3, ma'am. I think it's times 3.
Okay,
No, wait.
so let's look at this. -1 times 3 gives me what?
-3, ma'am.
-3. So is it times 3? I see Cabo has gotten it in our chat. It's times -3 because look, our number itself is right. 3 is correct, but I need it to be a positive. And so I'm going to change my sign. And now if I have -1 times -3, that is going to give me +3. And so if we look at that, now we have 3 to -9. Let's see if I can apply this rule. What is 3 times -3 immediately?
3 times -3 is -9, ma'am.
It's -9. How did I know that we could use S in V? Let's look at my signs. So positive times a negative. I got a negative. Numbers, 3 times 3 is 9. No variables. That's it. And so here, my rule is to multiply by -3. So thank you, Emilia, for answering that for us. From this, guys, what I want you guys to see is that when you have terms in your pattern jumping from positive to negative, usually the case is that you'll either be dividing or multiplying by a negative number. Because think about it, when you divide or multiply by a negative number, your sign will change. And so if we had to describe this pattern in words, we are multiplying by -3 to get to the next term. And with that, we are closing off our lesson. So thank you guys so much for participating and answering my questions. We had a lot of participation today. So that was nice. If you have any questions, you are more than welcome to stay behind and ask your questions. I saw Refilwe has a hand up. Yes. Melity, can I please go up? Go up to where? Bye, everybody. Shady is still saying that Chacha's can go. Okay, Refilwe does not have a question anymore. Yeah, Leti, I'm not sure where you want me to go up, but I'll go up. Okay,
Bye,
fine.
ma'am.
Bye. So we have that. Bye, guys. So if you need a screenshot there, that's that. Next one.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye. Thank you, Layla. You too. Okay. So I hope everybody's taking screenshots. If you need screenshots,